Good morning, children. The pleasure is mine to take you in our today's online class on social studies stroke civic education. And I hope the pleasure is yours too to listen to me from the comfort of your homes. So, before we consider the topic for today, let us remind ourselves on what we did last time. Last time we looked at the international organization, the Commonwealth of Nations. We would say the Commonwealth of Nations is made up of an independent countries that got their independence from Great Britain, and the Queen of England is the head of the Commonwealth of Nations. And the Commonwealth of Nations has 54 member world countries, which Nigeria happened to be one of the members of the Commonwealth of Nations. And the head office or the secretariat is located in London. And we have the first African Secretary General to be the person of Chief Emeka Anyaoku, who happens to be a Nigerian. And we also looked at some of the agency or the organs of the Commonwealth of Nations and what they have been able to achieve so far as a body. So this morning we're also going to be looking at another international organization. That's the UN, which was formerly known as the UNO. So the lesson objectives at the end of the lesson, the pupil should be able to say what UNO means, list the organs of UNO, then list the major objectives of UNO, then state the functions of what UNO. So we say the UNO, which is the United Nations Organization. That's the full meaning of UNO. But now it is known as the UN. So the United Nations is a multinational body. That means it's made up of different continents, countries from different continents of the world, not only Africa, not only Europe, but countries from Africa, country from Europe, country from Asia, country from North America, and so on, are all members of the UNO. That is why we call it a multinational body. Okay, at the end, all independent nations of the world, are free to become members. All independent members of the world and all independent nations of the world are free to become what members. So Nigeria is a member of the UNO, okay, because we are independent nation. So it was formed on October 24th, 1945. That was the year it was established, October 24, 1945, after the Second World War, which lasted from 1939 to 1945. Yes, it was as a result of the World War that gave rise to these international organizations, especially UNO, in order to ensure that there is peace and there is unity, there is harmony in the world. Because what happened during the World War, lives and properties were destroyed. So things were not working after the World War. So in order to ensure that there is peace in the world, in order to establish peace in the world, these international organizations came to play. A way of trying to harmonize or bringing nations of the world together to ensure that there is peace and there is unity in the world. Okay, the major objectives of the UNO. Okay, so Nigeria became a member in 1960. That was when we got our independence. So we're looking at the major objectives of the UNO. What UNO as a body has set to achieve. 1, to maintain international peace and security. 2, to maintain friendly relations among nations. 3, to settle international disputes and problems. 4, to encourage international cooperation in solving economic, educational, social, and cultural and humanitarian problems. Okay, if you're talking about international peace and security, that is a major objective of the UNO. Okay, now if there's like what is happening currently in the world, the COVID-19 epidemic, So the UNO as a body, through one of its agencies, the World Health Organization, trying to partner with some countries to ensure that drugs towards fighting this epidemic is being provided, is being discovered, and also they provide palliative support from other member countries that are well-to-do, given to other countries who cannot fight this epidemic on their own. You can see through this they maintain friendly relations among nations, and they also settle international disputes and problems. Remember when Nigeria had a problem with Cameroon over a land issue, it was the International Court of Justice, an agency of the UNO, that this problem was resolved. What would have led to To a war between the two countries. So you can see that the UNO is achieving its objectives, okay, gradually. Now the organs of the UNO, we are going to look at the General Assembly. The General Assembly is one of the organs of the UNO, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the Secretariat, the International Court of Justice. So all these organs are established to solve certain problems. They are the ones that ensure that the set goals of the organization is being achieved, because they are working in their own various capacities to ensure that things are moving and set goals of the organization is being achieved. Okay, now the success and achievement of the UNO. What are some of the success and achievement of the UNO? So it has helped to maintain peace and security in the world. Yes. It has been protecting human rights in the world. It has been resettling victims of wars and disasters all over the world. It encouraged cooperation among countries of the world in all areas of human endeavors. Okay, help to maintain peace and security. It's also one of the sources of UNO. I made mention of the dispute between Nigeria and Cameroon before, earlier on. Okay, that it was the intervention of the International Court of Justice that made it not to resort to war between the two countries. Also, like countries that suffer from natural disasters like earthquake, volcanoes, flood, and so on. You can say that UNO come to the intervention of these people. Trying to provide some relief materials to ensure that they ensure that they are not dejected in that situation they find themselves, and trying to bring them back to their normal state, because that is part of the objective of UNO, to render assistance, to render help to some of these needy countries that need help in terms of all these disasters. Okay, it encourages cooperation among countries of the world in all areas of human endeavors. It can be maybe trading activities, it can be in terms of sport, and so on. So these are some of the sources and achievements of UNO. Don't forget that UNO is the highest international body in the world. It is the highest international body in the world because it is a multinational organization. So every every country from different continents are members of the UNO. Now, some agencies of the UNO, we have the IFC, which is the International Finance Corporation, the ICO, International Civil Aviation Organization, the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, Then we have the UNEP, that is UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. So these agencies are set up to solve or tackle some problems in the world. Like if you look at the FAO, the Food and Agricultural Organization, is to ensure that there's no scarcity of food, that there is food for people to eat. They try to come up with measures to ensure that there's no scarcity of food and people are engaged mainly in agriculture, because agriculture is a platform where food are being provided. Okay, then if you look at other ones I didn't mention here, we have the World Health Organization. As I've said earlier on, the World Health Organization, they are set up. The World Health Organization is set up to tackle the area of health issues like what we're having now, the COVID-19. The World Health Organization is partnering with other countries in the world to ensure that they provide cure for it. Also, we have another one which is the ILO, is not mentioned here too, the International Labour Organization. This is to ensure that the laborers that are working, that the workers they get what they want as a result of the energy and the time they put towards working for the nation, to ensure that their right are given to them, to ensure that they are not victim of circumstance as a result of the job they are doing, to ensure that their welfare is being looked into. So you can see that the agencies are set up to tackle what certain problems, so that the overall objectives of this organization can be attained or achieved. Okay, I hope we have been able to achieve something tangible in our class today on international organization, where we consider the UNO, which is the UN, United Nations, as it is known now. Okay, we'll look at the when it was established. When it was established in 1945, after this Second World War, which lasted from 1939 to 1945. We also looked at the organs of UNO. Then we looked at some achievements of the UNO and considered some of the agencies of the UNO. Please don't forget, I said earlier on that it is the highest. It is the highest international body in the world. Okay, it was established in order to maintain peace and unity among nations of the world. So here we have an assignment, and the assignment says list 10 other agencies of the UN. I mentioned some earlier on, so you are not to mention those ones I listed. So you are to mention 10 other agencies aside the ones I gave you. So mention 10 other agencies of the UNO, then you draw the world map. So thank you once more for listening and joining me in our today's online class on social studies / civic education. Please ensure the assignment is done as we meet again in our next class next week. Thank you and remain blessed.